You shouldn't be walking around like this. These people will kill you.
Very good.
All right, so we are starting back with Litebug remake. So last time we did integration, setting up Copilot with NeoVim, and then we also integrated Tailwind CSS with, we created a node theme in Tailwind CSS. And today we are going to be working on integrating React hook forms. So we're going to be changing this form to use React hook forms, and then after that, I'll be creating the actual data entry page for Litebug, where we create the transactions. All right. So let's get started. Yeah, I would like to match the design with this. So I'm going to remove the box from here. So yeah, I think I'll do that first. So we have an empty actually we have some changes. All right. So yeah, this is just fixing one type issue, but nothing related to how the app is working. I'll just commit this here. Fix type error in crypto library. No, not a bug. See. Okay, so first thing, I will remove the box. So this is the screen, and inside we have W screen SM. Yeah, this is the box, and we're going to just remove the background. And yeah, this is what we need. Also, just align it to the top. Doesn't seem to be working. W screen, H screen, flex, justify center. Let's test if changing the color works. Margin X auto. Oh, okay. MX auto seems to work for vertical alignment now. Anyway, so it's a little bit bigger, so we don't need the padding that we're using. Okay, but we need some padding on the top. That's good. So this is a material UI, so it has this feature, but that's gonna do it traditional way. Okay, so this, I think, let's see if, yeah, I think this matches more with this, and then add some padding. Let's do side by side. Oh, so, let's make it 5 and 4. Okay. Or might be too big. This looks good. And then rounded LG. Oh, it's already rounded LG, so maybe XL. Yeah, that's better. And then the button is just a button. Let's make this into a separate component. Okay, so I tried to do this TSO feature move to a new file, but it doesn't work. I mean, it did work. It moved this whole component into a new file. So anyway, I want to change this into a comp. And we need some props. Let's say button props is, we need a handler for the click. And should we call it children? Okay, so we will have props with children from React, and then inside that we will have the button props, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, so click here and the children. Yeah, there's some issue with the keyboard, so I'm getting like double taps. So if I in Vim, if you press C, it's for changing, and then you can specify what you want to change. If you press C twice, it will change the whole line. And what's happening is sometimes double tapping C, and then everything suddenly changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we can put this button up here. Okay, it works. And let's see what we have. Save is green and go back is red. That's also from the node theme. Let me just load up node theme again. Green, I think that was it, or maybe this. I think, yeah, it's this one. 2014. Yeah. Okay, so we will have this be node 14, and then make it a little bit extra padding. So maybe 3 and 2. Yeah, that looks good. Submit, and then we should be able to go back to the the home page where we can input the data. So let's set another button. This will be go back, cancel, and let's set a handler for that. Handle, go back, and window.history.back. No, we don't want to do that. Let's use navigate to go back. Mm, we should go back to, oh, no, this is, and we'll go back. Okay, works. So now we need to be able to differentiate the color. So before we do that, shall we move this to a different file? Okay, so to add a variant here with different colors, usually so for buttons, usually it's called intents instead of variants. So we will have our primary node 14. Yeah. Actually, yeah, this is success. Intent success. No, intent is, yeah, intent is primary. And then for the secondary, let's just see. So the type for the variants is we are getting the keys of the object above. So the type of to get the type TypeScript type for this, and then we are extracting the keys of that type. So now the values, valid values for a type variant would be primary and secondary, and then we can assign here like variant should be of type variant, and can set the default value as primary. And what we can do here is let's this into what we could do is get the PG color from the no, actually, yeah, it's not needed. We'll change this to black and replace this with variant variant. Oh, sorry. This should be intent. This should be intent, and this should be intent. Okay, and this should be intents. Now it's okay. And in the config page, we should change the go back button to intent equal to secondary. Oh, there seems to be a bit of issue with the stream. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming. Let me just check on that. Stream current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. We currently use stream bitrate of 6,800. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It is what it is. Yeah, so I'm just going to continue. Our go back is kind of a black color with the go back button. Maybe let's play around with that a bit. Maybe like would be like node 2, 3, and then an outline border node 2. Does it work? 0 or maybe 1. I think that's fine. Okay, so just a bit of re-theming. Let's just omit that. We have a button fit page 1. We don't need that. That's I created that accidentally, and to remove that. Page. Okay, so let's check the diff before we commit. Button with intents and everything, and then just navigate button navigate. Handle is added. A bit of changes in the styles, and then the go back button is added here. Yeah, looks okay. So commit. Some style changes. Okay, so next thing we will do is add the React hook forms. So I'll go to the Docker container for Litebug, and we can run React Yarnet React hook form. Sorry. Okay, so we have React hook forms, and I will add hook forms to this page first. So const I'm going to use control input. So there's something called controller provided by React hook forms. So I'm going to use that. So control and handle submit. That's the two things I need. Control and the name of the input. And then the validation rule, and then we need to pass the control, and then finally the render. From the field, going to get value and on change, as well as the reference, and going to pass it to value and on change here, and the ref, yeah, and the ref also. So ref to yeah. So we need to accept the ref here. Right. I think my handle submit has already been declared. What's happening? Okay. Yeah, this also has handle submit. So we can call it handle save. Okay. Right. So when the form is submitted, I want the handle submit should be called when the form is submitted, and also when the button is clicked as well. Actually, yeah, we don't need to put it in the button because the button could be like type submit, and this can be on. Does it have on submit? On submit, and we need to pass our save function to the handle submit of the React hook forms. My button is not accepting the type. So what we could do is actually make it so that this button props is actually made up of HTML button element props and button element props, button element properties and methods beyond the regular interface. Yep. That should make it available. Yeah, so type is working now. But if we have that, we don't need on click because on click is available from the channel button. Spread this, and spread this. Yeah, I think at the end should be fine. Yeah. Type is specified more than once. Types of property form are incompatible. Type HTML form element now is not a single type string. What's happened? HTML form. No, this is too much. Attribute. Yeah, let's do some clean. React TypeScript type for React button. Button props. Button HTML attributes. Since HTML attributes 40. Yeah, that's one way to do it. This is instructing elements, detail HTML props, React button, HTML attributes, HTML button element. Yeah, that's the one. Button HTML attributes and HTML button element. Wait, what was it? Okay. Button HTML attributes and HTML button element. This is from React. So now if I submit, yeah, seems to be working. What's the password? This to send to the other and get the password for Firefly. No, I don't have it here. Yeah, so just don't remember me. Not again. Is the DB getting deleted or something? Firefly Litebug dev. Okay, so yeah, that's a problem with the pass command. Let me just try it from here. Firefly Litebug dev. NWL copy. This is oh. All right. Yeah. So that means when I press submit, it's going to Firefly because it's the handle submit handler is working. So that's working. Now, what do? But how is it working? Yeah, because the config is already there. So even if the value is not here, it's taking the value from config and sending it. So anyway, changing this to work with React form. So let's put the controller everywhere. I need to install a prettier just for auto formatting. Is it working already? No. Okay, after this I will set up prettier. Should be, yeah, okay. New to type value and then on change. And then also in a ref. Right. Okay, so everything is empty. Now we need to set the default values for the form. Just like in here, config, Wi-Fi URL, client ID, all these things. So let's the use form default values. This is from GitHub Copilot auto completion. Let's see if everything is correct. Seems to be okay. Let's delete all this. So what will happen in the handle save is React hook form will pass the data in as a variable here as a parameter, so we can extract destructure the values to what we need. Firefly and ID, Firefly redirect URI, so on. So client ID is not defined. I don't think it's here. Here. It's taking the same values. Default 5. Okay. Down here in the controller, I didn't change the name. So this is client ID. Redirect URI. Now it should be okay. Yeah, right. And when I submit, so log should show all these. Let's just add a return here so it doesn't go anywhere. URL, client ID 2, everything is working. So we successfully integrated React hook form, but we are missing the types. So let's just satisfy that and define config form data here. This is also very similar, but instead of I think I can just specify this as config. Config. Where is it? From the use config store, we have a config to export this. So I don't need to define anything here and just use config here, and that's it. So now this should okay, here also we define this as config, and that's all. Right now, all this is working fine, but there's no validation. except like this check here. If not anything, then it's just alerting. That should be fine for at least this config. So let's just move to the next part, right? And that would be working on the actual the main form. Before we could work on it, there might be some other stuff that needs to be done, but I think I'll just get started and then see where it goes. So in this comment, I've added integrate React hook form into config page. Right, and then I'm going to work on the main page. So the main page looks like, let's see if I can see it. Probably need to log in. What happened to my config? I will log into the localhost. Hmm. Hey, oh yeah. The redirect URL is different for each one. This is Litebug. So I need to go to Firefly localhost 9,000. And set up another step. That is not secure connection. Is this KD issue or something? That's fine. It's working. Profile doesn't work. Preferences works. Ah, maybe some kind of caching. So let's see if it works with a private window. Login again. I need the password. And profile. Yeah, seems maybe like a cache. So this will be bug original. What was the other name? Yeah, it's also called it bug. So yeah, bug old. And this will be the actual live one. So that's right, slash or slash handle. And then yeah, not confidential. Client ID 3. Redirect to Not but XYZ say oh it's also an error. This is another course error. Yep, okay. So again, for the course error, you need to change the caddy file and allow another origin. So origin 1 is localhost 5173 and the Litebug dot xyz is the other one. Okay, and then restart get ready. Stop caddy. All right. All right. So that worked. And this is the old UI. I'm going to be trying to replicate this in the new one. So on the side here, this is the grouping of whatever transactions here. So maybe like you can have like bread, and this is paid from BML, and then like shop 1, 15. So we have bread here, and then the one X and shop 1. Right, so it will show the summary here. And depending on your receipt, if the values in the receipt which you will be entering here is already inclusive of GST, then you just put tax inclusive. If the values in the receipt is not, then you say tax exclusive. So now whatever you input here is tax is added on top of that. If something is zero rated, you can specify that is zero rated, like actually bread is, and then you get uh, this amount without the GST. And then you have the transaction date, and then if you have more than one, you need to specify a group title for this entire transaction, the grouping. So yeah, let's get started with this. Yeah, I'll move this to another separate window. I mean workspace. uh, Commit the KD file changes. What's this? L course for bug.under.xyz. And then let's get started. So going back to the home page, app.tsx. Here, delete everything else. See homepage, test, right. I want to divide the screen this into two parts. So the first part, like, let's say it's 96. Let's try that. W96 and give it a color so we can see it. It's too big. 60 seems fine. Maybe 64. I think that's better. So that will be in a container, and we will have two parts. So one part is the left bar, and the other one is the transactions. This doesn't have a size, so it should take the whole screen. And the container itself has to be flex row. It's flex row by default. And this should be flex 1, so it takes all the space remaining. Okay. Now we can add all of these one by one. So first, this part. I have the group title and the transaction date. So first, this will be a text input. Oh yeah, I forgot. So I need to move the text input into a separate file. And I need to move the props too. All right, that's it. Okay, so import text input. Does it have a label? Label equal to group title. For now, that's it. Font change is required, so you'll have an empty on change. And then we need the date, but the date needs to be a date picker. Okay, good. Yeah, I should make this the labels make it white color, white text instead of black. So need to add a bit of padding. With the padding, it should be bigger. Maybe 96 was right size. Seems too big. So halfway between the 96 and 64. In the middle, 80. Yeah, maybe. And P10, 5. Yeah, that's good. So I'll remove PG color. And the label would be better with white color. Yep, cool. And let's add some spacing between the two inputs. So I'll change this to a flex column and a gap of 4 in the y-axis. That looks good. This is more compact because the label is inside. And the other thing is we need a date picker. So I'll do that after adding everything in and add the functionality afterwards. First, I'll do the design. Okay, so now we need this. This is a, I guess we can call it a toggle button or button group. All right, so before we do anything else, rearrange some of these components. So I create a directory for form inputs. Actually, yeah, form inputs is, oh, I already have. So I'll move this into this and then delete this text input, delete this button, move it here, rename it to lowercase. And that means config page, the imports will be messed up. I will delete it and re-import. And yeah, and the text import also. I think you can put slash components slash form and text and then the same thing in here. Okay. um should I first do some cleanup? There's always cleanup, and if you don't do cleanup, things will just get harder and harder to do as we move along. So about the cleanup. So one thing is the imports. Ideally, like in this page, it's like dot dot, and sometimes if you go further in your nesting or your screens and components, you will have a lot of dot dot and stuff, right? So instead, yes, TypeScript and also Vite or Webpack, whatever you're using, they will provide aliases, so you can use the alias. Usually, most setup actually use like at symbol or maybe at app and so on. So yeah, I think I will set that up. Uh, for before we move on to other stuff. So we'll commit the current changes. Let me just check the diff. Move the text input. Config pair changes the imports and remove text input from config page. completely change that page. Yeah, that's fine. So JJ is not does not know that I moved the button from here to here. It should know this if it's Git. But uh, but anyway, I will just commit this. What should I say? Move. Sorry, refactor. Move the form to a better location. Okay, so regarding the cleanup, first thing we will do, set this up using Vite. So these are Vite projects. So Vite TypeScript alias. Let's see. How do I use TypeScript path aliases? Aliasing paths. So we check the Vite docs. Does it have the answer? Where is the search? Okay. Alias. There it is. Type record string. That's the one I want to use. We pass to rollup plugin alias as its entries option can either be an object or an array. When aliasing to find file system paths, always use absolute paths. Relative alias values will be used as is and will not be resolved into file system paths. File system paths. More advanced custom resolution can be used with SSR. If you have configured alias SSR, they should show an example for each of these configs. So let's try this. Config. Where does this go? This is resolve.alias root. So inside root, we have resolve, and inside resolve, alias. Try that. Resolve alias. So this is the alias, and then to the source folder. We have source folder. Yeah. All right. So that's for that's for Vite, but we also need to set this up for TypeScript. So in TypeScript, let's also search for this. TypeScript ts config alias. Parts, compile options, parts, then like this. Also better to give a base URL of that is the current root path of your parts. Okay. So compile options. Do we already have this? Let's see. Base URL is not there. Parts not there. Let's just set it down here. What is it? Base URL. Parts. And this is at. That's it. And so if I remove this, and then I import the button back. Now it's imported from @/components. And let's do the same thing for text input. All right. Just to note something very simple but very important. So if you check the diff now, in the config page, it says this button is changed to text input and the text input is changed to button. So whenever you're committing, just try to keep the scope of the diff as small as possible. So right now what happened was this got swapped. So instead of changing the location of the imports, I'm just going to reswap this back. So now we get a better diff. So because it's a better diff, it will be easier to do like code reviews or any other kind of merging and those kind of things. It will reduce what do you call it? Anything anyway. Let's move on. So yeah, just whenever making changes, just try to reduce the size of the diff. So results. Okay, so that's done. That's good. You call this commit. Um, some build changes. Setup alias alias at or source folder. If you're curious about this commit message, build and a colon, and then at the end I'm putting this combination of two things. First thing is git conventional commits. This I'm not sure where it comes from. So in this website they explain about this. So you specify the type and then optionally a scope. So if you're working on, for example, the config page, you can put config page as a scope and then the description. And then after that, you can put some extra explanation if you need, but it's not required. So just now I did a build commit. So the type, the build, I didn't specify a scope, and then the description and so on. The other part at the end is Gitmoji. So Gitmojis, you can either use the actual Unicode or you can say put the colon, this between the colons. These will show up in GitHub as the actual icons. These are usually used for stats on your repo. So if there are multiple people who are committing changes, you can use these Gitmoji to identify like who is doing most of the documentation work, who is fixing the design, or who is fixing the tests and so on. Okay, so I can close all these and this and use TypeScript path. Okay, so that cleanup is done. The other thing is I want to set up prettier. Hmm. The connection seems to be really bad for now. I'm going to restart the. Okay, maybe it's back. Not sure. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. That's bad. Shouldn't that be dot so? I just saw the chat. Shouldn't it be dot source? Do you mean in this bit config? I think bit config wants you to use that also seems to work. But according to the docs just now, it said use for file system paths, use absolute paths. So maybe the slash it starts from the project root itself. But yeah, the dot source, dot slash source also works. Stream status, yeah, it's okay now. Right, so I was setting up Prettier, install Prettier, and game install save except Prettier. Okay. What else? And px Prettier dot write, px Prettier check. Yeah, this is what I need. Is there like a command to generate the Prettier file? Dev accept Prettier, yeah, and dev accept Prettier. Oh, done. So now, yeah, it worked. Yeah, now it's pretty fine. Hmm. Oh yeah, so I'm using a tool called Difftastic, DFT, and it shows diffs. The diffs that it shows, it ignores any kind of white space. So anything you do with Prettier, it won't show you. But let's see the diff within Git. Oh, this is not Git, so I cannot use fugitive. How do I to two summary types, get show gift format diff to generate diff by external command context. What I want to do is ignore the external command. The built-in works. No, doesn't work. If I make it T, doesn't. And if I say git make sure. Okay, so these things actually changed by Prettier. So this is setting up. I also want to set up a linter, so maybe biome is easy to set up. This is not it. Biome JS. Yeah, net exact biome JS biome. Okay, biome is installed. I have biome set up in NVim, but had it disabled for now. There was the thing is it was working for projects where I haven't set up biome, so it was becoming a bit annoying. I had to turn it off. So I haven't enabled workspace, so all that open files should be maintained. So now I have enabled the workspace. I can go on page. Let's see. Yeah, biome. All these imports are only used as types, so I should put type here. So biome has pretty good linting. So if you're doing a fresh project, it's pretty good as an alternative for ESLint. This should work at app.tsx at okay, continue on with the build. So group title and then the toggle button. So toggle button will be, I just add this to the transform. Toggle button. No, actually it's more like a button group. So yeah, group. What does a button group accept as props? One is the options. So the options should have two things, value and then the label, right? So I'll call it option. So I need to define the option also. And then the selected option, maintain that as a string. And then the on change also value string. Button props options will change. And let's define option. Option should have a label and a value. Options dot map option button key. This is basically a radio button. So FC is a functional component. So React provides this type, and we can pass in what are the props that this functional component has. If you don't use it, it's basically defining that these props are of this type, and also this function will be returning a React element or component, I think. So it's so it seems like there is a longer form of functional component. This is NeoVim, and I'm using the TypeScript LSP, the language server. What is doesn't seems to show the type definition. It's weird. Yeah. Should I use a button or should I use HTML radio input? I'm really outdated on HTML, like new stuff like that. I think now there's something called dialog, HTML dialog. Yeah, all this new stuff is baseline 2020, newly available. It's pretty recent. So instead of like manually doing dialogues, you can use it, but I think there's still some shortcomings. So for this what I'm trying to achieve is like a button like this, but allow for multiple values, like more than two, maybe three, five, whatever. So these are usually called, I think, button groups. Button group. But these are not like toggles. So if it is a toggle, I think it's better to use like a HTML radio behind the scenes. So yeah, what I'm building is actually, this is something I have already built called Litebug. This is a data entry, rapid data entries, like an app for Firefly. So Firefly itself is an open source personal finance management system. Again with the profile. So yeah, this is Firefly, and you can manage like your accounts, create your accounts, asset accounts, expenses, revenue, and also there's support for like if you have a loan, you can set up your loan here with liabilities, and then you have your transactions, income, transfer between your accounts, expenses. So this is a pretty standard like a Laravel app. It's there's a lot of data you can put, and what I'm doing with Litebug is just simplifying the data entry, and also there will be some kind of autocomplete. Like if you have previously purchased bread, if you select bread from here, it will autofill all the values for you. Oh, this doesn't really automate the counting, but like if we are able to read PML, the transaction logs, we could do something with that and automate it possibly. I was thinking of building something like that, but it seems like it gets harder and harder to grab data from BML. So right now I'm just building this button group, and yeah, I think I'm using. It will be better to use the radio input for this instead of buttons, because it is a radio group is basically something where you can select one of the given options. So this is a field set. Inside the field set, you have the radio button, and all the names will be the same. That's how it works, right? So I will change this to input type equal radio and name. Should I ask the user to pass in the name? Yeah, I think we can do that. Let's see. So yeah, I'll just put the name here. See, or alternatively, I could use there's a React provides the new ID hook, so I could use use ID and just use it here as a name. That would work. Key is option.value class name option.value. Oh, this is. Let's just remove this for now. BG node 3. Input is a void element tag and must not have children. Because it's an input. Yes, let's just put this as the option.label. Some name imports are used as types. Type FC. Let's see how it looks. Here. Button group. Options. So the value won't be shown and you cannot pass any children to it. That means we need to surround this with something else like div. Padding, some padding, and then border node 0, node 1, and then that might be fine. Looks good. I'm using Tailwind CSS, and I added the color configuration using this node theme. And missing key property. Key option value. And then we need the parent to be flex column. And what else do I need? Not column, flex row. So we don't need to specify because flex row is default, but I want to take up the entire space. So let's make it flex one. It doesn't W. No. Yeah, maybe these are not taking up the space. So these should be flex one. Yep. And if we hide the, yeah, we hide this, so this will be hidden. Yep. And then another value will be the option dot label. That works. Span last name equal to text node 4. Is it? Yeah. And then center line. Text center should work. So what's happening? Span is as small as it can be, and then the justify center, item center. So if this is block, it would probably center it, right? No, this is not flex, that's why it's not working. So if I make it flex, yeah, all right, so that works. So the whole thing should have a rounded corners, rounded Excel. This doesn't have border, so let's put border here. And inside, how to make only the first item and the last item should have the borders. Should have the rounded corners, right? So let's make this into a template string. And the rounding, we need the the index. If I is equal to 0, then rounded L left. Yeah, rounded L Excel is. And if options are length is -1, rounded R Excel. Yeah, exactly. Okay, it works. So I don't need the border here. This border should collapse. So is that available in Tailwind? Although one thing I noticed is Tailwind website is quite slow to load. CSS first. Oh yeah. I do that. Border collapse. Oh, border collapse only works for tables, is it? Cells inside a table have shared or separate borders. Does it not work for like other stuff? Border block. So I'm trying to make it this is what I'm looking for, but border collapse only works for tables. So if you have borders on both boxes, right? These two borders should merge together. So if it's tables, border collapse, CSS property would work. Use simply a negative margin. So let's just put border on the right side. Okay, so what you said was like make it have a first child rounded there, rounded, right? How do we do first child in tailwind? Applying conditionally, hover other states. Should be here somewhere. So first, last, or D1. First, yeah, okay, that's simple enough. So first rounded LXL and last rounded RXL, and then we don't need this whole thing. Yeah, it works. And then only put the border on the, let's remove the border on the left side, or the yeah, left side. Seems to work except for this. So first border L, yeah, all right. Now to make the selection work, so it should be like a pointer. Uh, Pointer doesn't work. Maybe it's cursor pointer. Cursor pointer. And then we need the selection functionality. So when someone changes it, based on the value, selected option should be highlighted. option.value equal to value. Yeah, this is the one. So we'll change the background to something. I don't know yet what. I haven't really connected everything together. So let's see. Value, income, income. So they should be highlighted right now. Yeah, wait. This is the hidden thing. This needs to go in here. Expected and expression or assignment. Um, Works. So this is actually just using the background color, the default color in the background. So where is that? Yeah, I think it's this. So node 1 is the selected, node 2 is the PG. Yep, okay. It should be node 3 so that it would be lighter. Okay, that works. The border is also lighter. Border color. This is node 3. Okay. Uh, for Tailwind and these components, no, actually, it becomes easier to change all these things very easily with Tailwind. The only thing for me as a concern is like all the classes becomes a bit verbose within the HTML, and HTML is the main thing that's always transferred for any website. Like CSS and stuff is usually cached, but HTML, because it's dynamic, usually will be transferred, right? So there is an alternative, but I haven't really looked into that. Like for example, for this for the button, right? You could set it as a single value within x.css. So you could define like button primary or whatever, right? And then you can use this button. And you still get the advantage of using Tailwind styles to just, for example, if you want rounded corners, you can just say rounded LG or Excel or whatever. So you still get that advantage, but might become more difficult to change later if you use it a lot. But for something that will be repeating like almost every year, then this is a good way to reduce the payload and also make it easier to write your components. So this component is done. I can put in the interactivity later. Yeah, all this hover and things also need needs to be done, but that's for later. I will make a commit for the changes just now. We added the button group and biome also. I could separate the commit, but too lazy to do that right now. Just gonna do commit for the add. What is this button group? So next we have the summary and the submit button. Should I move to this part though? Yeah, these are just a bit of static stuff. So maybe I want to work on this part. Okay. So the first thing is, yeah, this will be no background color, and then there will be a div. This will have an input. So the background color is a bit lighter here. I think this is like maybe 3. And margin, I put the margin padding here, 5. Just 5 or maybe top. And then round, round the corners. Rounded corners doesn't work because, oh, wait. Rounded is here. And this should be a flex column, and gap y maybe 5. Rounded, and this again will have padding on the left. Padding y, and then oh, okay, so padding right 5. Okay. This thing would be a grid. A grid 1, 2, 3, 4. Grid with 4 parts. So grid equals 4. And then we have a description source account, destination account, and amount. All right, we need a gap. Gap will be 5. So source budget category. And then we need the button group for text exempt or not. What does it say? Text or 0 rated. Oh, the border color is the same here. To make it a bit lighter, and this becomes like stretching to fit. That's how grids work. Okay, it's nearing almost 2 hours, so I think I'll be stopping the stream in a bit. Yeah, so before I finish, yeah, let me just try to fix the sizing for this first. I guess the only way to really fix it is to have a fixed size for this. Does make sense to have a fixed size. Currently, the size of this text box is based on the padding and then the text size. So instead, if I base it on the height, then only the x-axis padding will matter and the text has to be centered. But if I do that, all of these can be set to have the same height wherever they are rendered. So that will be good. I could go with that, yeah. So let's see the size. It says here, this is a 48 pixels. That's a good number of pixels. Button group. This will be H. 48px. Yeah, works, but there's a should be possible to set it as without setting a fixed value. So 48, oh yeah, 12. H12, yeah, works. Now I need it to be at the bottom, so that would be does flex and work for grids? I think there's a different thing for grids. Justify self. Utilities for controlling how an individual grid item is aligned along its inline axis. Axis. Justify self start. So it's this axis. So that's not the one. Right. Self. Controlling how an individual flex or grid item is containers cross axis. Yeah, this is what I want. So self and so it's not a great idea to put layout concerns within components. So down into a div here, into this div. Sure. So now the div contains the button group. Div is the same size as the button group. So that means if I self and thing, right? Self and okay, of course. And then the border needs to be lighter. That's too. Border with. So normally if I use just border, it's 1 pixel. 0 to 4. But that how is it done here? So this has border size. Says solid 255, 252. Oh, it's transparency. Does this have something similar? No. Photo in here, transparent, black, white, slate. So there's no transparency. So this will be a bit difficult to manage. So originally it's node 3, which works for here, but not here. But node 4 is too bright. So what's node 2? and it's doesn't work here. Hmm. Hmm. Why does it look so odd like this? Maybe I could make the rest of the thing brighter, like this skin before, this skin 3. So the text needs to be just 5. This needs to be 1. No, it's very odd. Uh, Option dot value equal to value 10, not 0. Otherwise, text for yeah, it looks odd. Okay, I'll figure something out for this the colors later. So, but it's more than 2 hours now. So I guess I will finish the stream here today. So what we have achieved is to the left hand side without the summary parts, and then one of the transaction items here. But this is just empty text boxes. So yeah, after I figure this out, what I'll be working on next is maybe working on a select input. So what happened with this is you might have noticed is the select input is does not match with the rest of the theme. This is using React Select 2. So Select 2 is a JavaScript library for exactly this purpose, and React Select 2 is packaging the Select 2 library into React. I have already tried this in another project, and it was really good to exactly theme Select 2 as you want. It allows for a lot of customizability, but some things are just not possible. There are some issues with some. I think yeah, I had issue with multi-select input. So we will have a tag here and then the box. So the box would have some kind of border. I think it was just conflicting with something else from Tailwind. So not really the fault of Select 2 exactly. So that might still be a viable alternative. But what I'm going to do is try out Redix UI and just use just build it out from there. But usually if you're building your own text inputs and stuff, there's a lot of things you need to be taking care of. Like you can notice this is just a simple text input, but it has the clear button, which my text input doesn't. This will have a lot of things, including the clear, and then if you type in anything, it will change it. So would be able to control this using your keyboard. So if you press down on the arrow key, you can traverse the options. You can press enter to select the option that you have selected, and so on, right? So There is a lot of things you need to take care of if you are implementing a component like this. So especially for this select input, it's really complicated because you have a set of options coming in from the backend, but I also need to be able to add new things on the fly here because something like I want to add another shop, a new shop here. So I should be just able to type in shop 2 and then press enter, and when I submit this transaction, it should be added into the backend as an actual destination account. So I need to be able to create new options on the fly here just by typing it in. Select 2 actually provides all of these functionalities, so it's really good. It's a bit difficult to style it though, so that's the only thing. So this is actually the select from. I'm using MUI in the old Litebug. So MUI have this as the default, and MUI actually provided a lot of the default features that I needed, except creating a value from scratch. So I wasn't able to do that with MUI. So yeah, I will be ending the stream here for today. I will be continuing with the select input. Once I figure this out also, yeah, I will be continuing with the select input after that. Maybe the size. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, so that's it for tonight stream. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for joining. Bye. How to end the stream? Okay, here.